is a strategy consultant with specialty in Salesforce management, also a highly sought-after sales trainer for local, international, and multinational corporations. Iyore has trained over 21,000 salespeople in Nigeria, Ghana, the USA, and the UAE. He brings a wealth of practical sales experience from his years at Standard Chartered Bank and the former Diamond Bank, growing a portfolio of $3.5 million to over $7 million in just 11 months. Iyore is a fellow of the International Management Consultant Board FIMCB USA, a member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers Nigeria, and a certified life coach and neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. He is the author of 14 sales books and 15 sales courses, educating many on how to sell effectively. Iyore is the Chief Executive Officer of Ultravantage Solutions, which has consulted for over 89 companies across all industries to aid in setting up the right sales structure to deliver sales results. In the real estate industry, he has trained over 25 real estate companies, and he will now train us on the art of cultivating connections. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Iyore Ogbuigwe, the King of Sales.
Ladies and gentlemen, TERRApy 3.0, please make welcome the King of Sales. Come on, are you sleeping on me already? I thought you promised to make this. Celebrate now. Aha. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. All right, can you hear me clearly, please? If you can hear me clearly, please, can you wave at me, please? All right, beautiful. First of all, I'd like to thank the MD, Mr. Kola Ashiru Balogun, for this opportunity to be speaking to you today. I'd also like to thank the keynote speaker, Mr. Nia Desonya, who is not here yet. You know, the reason I'm thanking him is because when I saw the lineup of speakers and I saw Mr. Nia Desonya was going to be on the same stage, I was going to be on the same stage with him, I was grateful. Grateful because I remember in the university, in my 200 level, to be precise, I was staying in the staff quarters in my school then, and somebody brought a material, Public Speaking, by Nia Desonya. So I remember getting the program, I listened to it. When I was done listening to it, I called him that night. Of course, he didn't know who was speaking. So I just called him and I said, thank you so much. I've listened to your program and he blessed me so much. And over the years, many things I do today as a speaker, as a trainer, there were things that I gleaned from Mr. Nia Desonya. So I'm hoping that he'll probably see this video. And, you know, if I walked up to him and I said thank you, he may not really understand. But if I say it from here, I'm sure that he will understand clearly. I would also like to thank Mrs. Chukunonso Oni Eze for the wonderful, wonderful presentation. Can we give her a round of applause again, please? You know, very inspiring. Many things she said that resonated so well with me. I remember when my wife saw the program and she saw the lineup of speakers, when she saw her name, she said, oh, I know this lady. I know this lady. That we were together at Wimby's and she just forced her card into my hand. And she said, hello, madam, I sell properties. This is my card. So it just resonated exactly what she said earlier. All right, so my name is Iyore Ogbuigwe, and I'm going to be talking to you about cultivating connections. Cultivating connections. I'm very passionate about helping people do well in life. I'm very passionate about it because, you know, when we look at our country today, and it's not because of today, it's been like this over the years. For many years, things have become more expensive, things have become more difficult for a lot of people. And one of the ways I believe you can be able to navigate any economy, navigate any times, is by learning how to sell effectively. So that's why I'm going to be showing you a few things that you can put to work and get results. Now, you see, I want you to understand what I do personally. Ultravantage, we're a team of strategy consultants and our specialties in Salesforce management. When we say Salesforce management, we're not talking about the Salesforce application. We're talking about a sales team of an organization, Salesforce. Now, when we go to work in organizations, let me tell you the type of results we're able to help our clients achieve. Let me give you an example. A client reached out to me and he said they had not sold any units of their sales properties. All the sales guys were struggling. So apparently somebody referred me. We go in, we have a three-day session. When we are done, a month after, HR sends me an email. And she says, wow, Iyore, the sales guys, the people who had not sold from year to date, they sold already. 9 units sold already. Another client reached out to me. This was early this year. By March, I've been telling him, see, let's do some work with your team so your team can do well early in the year. They can start the year strong. By March, they had not done anything in terms of training their sales teams. I told him, I said, sir, let's do something. After the election, he was now under so much pressure. With his eyes red, he said, we need to do something immediately. We ran the program, 2 days. When we were done, several units sold. So I'm showing you something that has worked, something that has been tested. An IT company reached out to me few months back. He had just resigned from industry to start up his IT firm. And the sales guys he had, they had not been able to deliver results yet. We had a 2-day program. In fact, it was a week apart. The first one was I think a Friday. The second one was I think the next Friday. When we ran this program, between the first session and the second session, they had already started getting POs. POs started to come in. We had a realtors conference for another real estate company a few weeks early this year, or I think it was last year. It was a 3-day program. After the first day, by the second day, people came and were talking about how they had already closed deals using the concepts that they had learned. Now, I've said all these things to you so that the concepts I will show you now, if for any reason you say, I've tried it before, it didn't work for me, check it again. I'm saying all this so that any concepts I show you, there are things that you may think this won't work, but trust me, they would work. I used to work in financial institutions, and the reason why I talk about this is because, you see, selling is a transferable skill. When we say selling is a transferable skill, what does this mean? This means if you learn the skill, you can move it to any industry. The concepts are the same. What differentiates is product knowledge, industry knowledge, but the concepts remain the same. Like I said, you read the profile, you saw the profile. I used to work in a diamond bank many years ago. I had never, the word high net worth individuals, I didn't even know what it meant. So you can imagine resuming there, and when I get there, they tell me, hello, Mr. Iyore Ogbuigwe, you're going to be selling to high net worth individuals. I had to check it. What does this mean? So in our organization then, high net worth individuals were people who were earning between $1 million to $5 million per annum. And I had to go and look for these people. Where was I going to start from? Aunties, uncles, relatives, where? You know what? For many months, I struggled. Sales wasn't coming in. Because I didn't know these concepts I'm going to show you now. I didn't know them. But I stumbled on some sales materials. And I started reading, started learning the concepts. And I started to put them to work. And ladies and gentlemen, the results started to come in. They started to come in. Until a particular month, HR says to me, you have to bring in 20 HNIs to the organization in 1 month. 20 HNIs. How many working days do we have in a month? 20 working days. That meant I was to bring 1 per day. The organization where I worked, some people could even get 1 in a whole year. So you now said 20 in a month. You know what? When I changed my thinking, I was able to confront it. And I was able to bring 21 HNIs in a particular month. And another time, thank you. Another time, they sent an email, sell this number of products, and we'll send it for the World Cup. Exceeded the targets. I was sent by the World Cup by my organization, fully expense paid, all expense paid trip. I moved to another organization. When I got there, portfolio of $3.5 million. In 11 months, it became $7 million. Using the things I will share with you. So you see, I've taken so long just to let you see that these things are very simple. But embrace them, use them, and you will see instant results. So are you ready, please? Ask your neighbor, are you ready? First of all, to succeed in sales, in building connections, the first thing is desire. 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 What do you want? If you see 2 athletes running a race, They may have been trained by the same coach, trained for the same duration, but at the end of the day, somebody else wins. A lot of times, what differentiates who wins and who loses is desire. What is the thing that is driving you? What is the thing? For example, I remember the last speaker said, she said, sell 5 units and get an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Could it be the iPhone 15 Pro Max that's your desire, that's driving you? Everybody must have a desire. Do you want to sell because you want to take care of your family? Do you want to sell because you want to build something? What is the desire? Identify the desire. Identify the desire. 3 keys to exceeding any sales targets. 3 keys to exceeding any sales targets. 3 keys. Number 1, the right mindset. If I have a desire, oh, this is what I want to achieve. Okay, now, let me put some monetary terms to it. What is the target? How much do I want to sell in this final quarter? How much is it? How many units? To achieve that target, number 1, you must have the right mindset. Now, there are 2 types of mindsets. We have the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. What is the fixed mindset? The fixed mindset believes that the past is equal to the future. It means that the way things have always been is the way things will always be. It means that, oh, it hasn't worked for me. Things are difficult in this economy. Nobody is buying properties anymore. You see that? Fixed mindset. Selling is hard. Fixed mindset. On the other hand, we have the growth mindset. What's growth mindset? Possibility thinking. I may have tried it before, it didn't work, but I'll go again. You must think possibilities. So number 1, the right mindset. Number 2, the right selling skills. The right selling skills. Hey, I want to exceed in sales. I want to excel in sales. Number 1, I need to get my mindset right. Number 2, I need to get the right selling skills. When I say the right selling skills, are you aware that selling is not talking? The more you talk, the less sales you will make. Especially if you sell real estate. It is not the explanation that convinces the prospects. What convinces the prospect is the questions you ask. There's a proverb that says, the wisdom of a person is not seen in what the person says, but the wisdom of a person is seen in the quality of questions that are asked. What are you supposed to do as a salesperson? Ask questions. Because true selling is asking questions. When we talk about top-notch selling skills, we're also saying, when you sell, it's important to sell to every prospect the same way. You must build what we call a sales presentation. A sales presentation walks us through from the things you have in common with your competitors to the things that differentiate you. Your sales presentation moves us from how you sell the company to selling the solution, or to selling the problem, then to selling the solution. You must build what we call a sales presentation. Part of top-notch selling skills is this. Do you know that there are people today who, when you ask them, who do you sell to? They say, I sell to everybody. Who do you sell to? I sell to anybody who has money. Wrong. Wrong. That is the beginning of problems in sales. Who do you sell to? Identify your target market, ladies and gentlemen. Who's your target market? The first law of doing well in sales is niching. Decide the target audience and go for that target audience. Niche. Now, if I want to decide my target audience, the question is this. Where do my prospects gather? Where do they gather? Who are they? For example, you can decide to build a target audience based on industries and say to yourself, you know what, I want to focus on the pharmaceutical industry. I want to focus on the financial sector. I want to focus on the entertainment industry. Then you build a list of prospects within that industry. How do you decide the target audience to pick? You can decide to start from the course you studied. What course did you study? Because if you look at the course you studied, maybe you studied health, right? Maybe you're a doctor, I don't know. Or you studied pharmacy. You may decide you want to focus on all the pharmacists. Then you build that prospect list. Because that's very important, because you will have the right vocabulary. It means that when you meet a pharmacist, you'll be able to speak their language. You'll be able to speak their vocabulary. And that will build trust. That will build credibility. Remember, people do business with you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. If they know you and they like you, but they don't trust you, there'll be no money. So you have to build trust quickly. And one of the ways you can build trust is to niche. Decide your target audience. Price mentioned before value has been understood is a sale lost. I'll say that again. Price mentioned before value has been understood is a sale lost. This means someone should ask you, hello, so you're talking about Terra developers? All right, so how much is the 4-bedroom mezzanine? How much is, let me see one of the projects now. Okay, you're talking about Terra developers? Okay, you talked about you have a project, the 2-bedroom maisonette. How much is it, please? It would be wrong to say it's 84.5 million, starting from 84.5 million naira. That would be wrong. Why? Because price mentioned before value has been understood is a sale lost. So what do? You say, oh, sir, in fact, that's the best part. I'll get to that shortly. Can I ask you a few questions so that I can see how it can be of value to you? Then the person says, okay, go ahead. Then you start to ask questions. That is how to sell. Marketing and selling are not the same thing. Marketing will never bring money, but sales will bring money. Marketing alone cannot grow a company, but sales alone can grow a company. However, if you have marketing and sales together, it becomes super. Now, what's marketing? Marketing is just announcing, creating awareness. You are not a radio jingle. You are not a billboard. You are not a flyer. So this means when you walk up to a prospect, don't just start to rap out all the features and everything about the products, because marketing will not close the sale. However, what is sales? Sales means marketing has brought people to the door. They've knocked. I now open the door and find out what they want. Then I prefer the right solution. So position your sales engagements, not to give the price ahead. Position it to talk about the value first. You must go through the corridor of value until you get to the door of pricing. Does that make sense? This means, imagine if I want to find my way out of this room. If I just appear at that exit, you'll probably think, is it renter ghost? You think you'll be wondering, who is this person? Is it a spirit? However, nature demands that if I want to get to that exit, what should I do? I should walk. So in sales, the walk is the value communication. The exit is the price. So if you haven't communicated value and you're just mentioning the price, it will always be too expensive. It will always be the developer is not good enough. That is how it will be perceived. And the developer is good enough, right? Right? Beautiful. So I said 3 keys to exceeding targets. I said the right mindset, the right selling skills, then the right work ethics. The right work ethics. What is work in sales? Work in accounting, work in finance, work in HR, or in any other profession is not work in sales. In sales, let me even add one. Posting on your WhatsApp status is not work in sales. Posting online is not work in sales. Even though, yes, those things have their place. But work in sales begins when you're seated in front of a prospect. This means there's only one word to define work in sales. It's called meetings. Meetings. Based on our research. Now, I know a lot of you are realtors. You may not be professional salespeople for an organization. But just by adventure, you are one. Maybe you work in an organization and you have sales targets. We've done our research. We are also a research institute. We've done our research on what it requires to do well in this industry. And if it comes to meetings, there's a certain number of meetings you need to have every day so that you can do well and bring in sales. Guess the number. Every day. Just guess. Can I just hear a guess? 10? No, 10 may be a Herculean task. Guess. Beautiful. Someone said 3, someone says 5. It's actually 4. 4 meetings every day. Your work in sales is just to find appointments and attend the meeting. Those are the only 2 things you have to do. Find the appointments and attend the meeting. Only those 2 things. Every other thing is activity. The phone calls, activity. We don't sell on the phone. Why don't we sell on the phone? Because the phone is not for closing sales. Somebody says, oh, no, I don't agree with you. But I've closed many sales on the phone. See, selling is an art. It's also a science. It's a science because you can predict the outcomes. It's an art because there are different approaches you want to use to these things. If I ask you now, has anybody closed a sale on the phone? Maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3. But have you met your targets financially with that? No. Because the phone is for booking meetings. The whole idea is that if you can sell the appointments, you probably can sell the products. So the goal is to sell the appointments. How do I get someone to give me their attention? Give me their time. Have a meeting with me. Sell the appointments with your phone. Then you can have a physical meeting and be able to present properly with conviction and help clients get true results. Now, next level. Let's look at how can you build self-confidence. How do you build self-confidence? Africans, well, it's not an African thing, but a lot of times, the number of confident people in the world today are not as many as those. The number of confident people are not as many as those who are not very confident. How many minutes do I have left? Oh, I have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Interesting. So, how do you build maximum self-confidence? How do you build it? Number one, knowledge. Knowledge of what you sell. Knowledge of the products. The products that Terra developers, are they as robust as Oseyo Ababio? Who knows Oseyo Ababio? Are they as robust as those textbooks? No. They're very simple, very few points to learn. But master the products. Memorize the products. It will give you a lot of confidence when you engage your prospects. Confidence emanates from competence. The more competent you are, the more confident you'll be. Number two, affirmations. What you say to yourself every day will boost your self-confidence. Self-talk. Talking to yourself every day to boost your self-confidence. Number three, courage. This means the more people you talk to, the more meetings you have, the more you engage prospects, the more confident you will be, and the better you'll be at selling. And finally, imagination. Sometimes I've seen people who, they've said, oh, Iyore, I've done this, I've not bought sales. I've done this, I've not bought sales. And I tell them, I said, have you ever practiced seeing yourself? Have you imagined what it looks like if you have succeeded in sales? Have you imagined what it looks like if your target is met? And they say, I've never imagined it. And I tell them, start to practice that. And with that, everything changes. I'd like to thank you all for your time. I'd like to thank you all for having me here today. I'd like to thank the MD, too, for this opportunity. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Terra developers live the good life.